Hi there, and thanks for joining me. In this YouTube series, I'm going to share with you some of the science around smoking and quitting smoking. I'll also answer some big questions many people have asked me over the years, while at the same time dispelling some well-established myths along the way. My name is James and I'm a psychologist from Australia, and for the past 20 plus years it's been my job to understand the science around smoking and to use this science to help people that smoke to quit. My focus has been on helping those people that feel unmotivated, not confident, not ready to quit, or feeling as if they've tried everything and nothing seems to work. I'm going to share with you some of my knowledge around the very complex nature of smoking dependence and why quitting can be really tough for some people, if not most people, yet rather straightforward for others. Here's a secret though, it's not just a case of needing more willpower. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you the answers to two questions I commonly get asked. 1. Do you really need to be highly motivated to begin with to be able to successfully quit long term? And 2, what's a quick, free and easy trick that might help to manage cravings? Now to the first question, and there's a slightly tricky answer. However, the answer is in general, no. Many people think that not much can be done until something intrinsic inside a person occurs, which allows for motivation to increase to a point where they'll step into no smoking and then readily maintain not smoking. Yet you might be surprised to know that the science really doesn't support this idea. The reason is that while motivation is important, it merely predicts quit attempts, but not success on those attempts. It's somewhat akin to weight loss. Someone might be readily motivated to lose weight, say as a New Year's resolution. But it doesn't mean they'll be more successful just because they hit a moment of motivation and set a New Year's goal. So while initial motivation to quit does appear to be an important factor in deciding to make an attempt, that in itself doesn't predict permanent quitting and probably has very little value in determining long-term success. So on any given unassisted quit attempt, what is a good predictor of successful quitting? Well, probably the best one we have is level of nicotine dependence. What this means is that, in general, having high levels of nicotine dependence predicts less likelihood of permanent quitting, whereas lower levels predict more likelihood of quitting. Now, a rough guide to high dependence means smoking first thing in the morning and then regularly throughout the day. Now, it's not as if high nicotine dependent smokers can't stop smoking. They most definitely can. It's just that if they're struggling, more thought may be needed into managing that dependence. So while a high desire to quit is helpful in that it does move a person into a position where they're more likely to make a quit attempt, that is really just the starting point. The main aim of the game is to manage this dependence, particularly if a person smokes first thing in the morning and then regularly throughout the day. So how can all of this be achieved? Well, there are a few ways of going about it, but one way involves using products like nicotine replacement therapy, or depending on where you live, another medication that's available from a doctor in a way we call pre-quit or preloading, which is a technique designed to comfortably reduce first without experiencing tough withdrawal symptoms. This idea actually does have a lot of merit, but for anyone looking at quitting, it is important to discuss it with a doctor or pharmacist first. Motivation can then often improve dramatically, like a kind of side effect, moving unmotivated people closer towards more attempts and, more importantly, attempts that are much more comfortable. Now, to the second question, what's one quick, free and easy trick to manage cravings? Okay, well, here's one I call fake it till you make it. Now, in the early stages of a quit attempt, a person starts off by saying to themselves, in their own mind, I don't smoke, I'm a non-smoker. Then the idea is to begin saying it in the mirror, I don't smoke, I'm a non-smoker. And finally, moving on to saying it to other people in real life situations. So if someone asks you if you'd like to go out for a cigarette, you'd say to them, mate, I don't smoke, I'm a non-smoker.
I got a couple of smokes. Would you like one?
Oh no thanks, I don't smoke, I'm a non-smoker. Now it's understandable that by doing this it might feel really weird at first. After all, there may have been a really long period of time as identifying as a smoker. But there is some evidence that taking on a non-smoker identity right from the outset can work in your favour. So the idea is to fast track the formation of memory so that a person perceives themselves as a non-smoker, not just as someone that's trying to quit. No craving management strategy is foolproof, and of course some strategies will help some people and not others. But this idea could add benefit to any plan with very little downside and where very little effort is actually required. So I hope you've enjoyed this first insight into the world of smoking cessation. See you next time.